All right. Sorry I've been gone for a minute. Really staying on top of that YouTube schedule that I was talking about. But hi, it's me again, Stu. It's been about a month and a half since the last time I did one of these. Um, but here we are again. This is an arm day I did, I think, sometime last week. Um, and just to get all the X's and O's out of the way first. Whole workout is like three moves for triceps, three movements for biceps, three working sets each. I think I finished up with a drop set on a couple of different movements. Start with tricep push downs here, and then easy bar cable curls, an overhead tricep press machine, then a preacher curl, and then an overhead one arm cable extension, and then I finished up with I guess you call them crucifix curls, where you're like doing two stacks. You'll see, it's the last movement, but like I said, three sets of each, three exercises for each biceps and triceps. And that's that. Not complicated. So today, mostly want to talk about what I've been up to for the last little bit here, and kind of my plans for the next year, shows, events, etc. And kind of lay things out as far as I understand them so far, because still trying to figure out some things. But yeah, so let's see. Last time I did one of these was beginning of November, like right around the Olympia time. Um, I think I mentioned there, I've been trying to adjust to like this new lifestyle that I've been living, because I don't have a day job now. If it's up to me, I can sleep in as late as I want and stay up until 2 in the morning, which I may have been doing more than I probably should. Been doing a lot more than I should, being honest. And I've been kind of trying to improve that schedule for myself. Like, it's not a good way to live your life. It's not very productive. So, been trying to improve on that. I've been gradually getting better at it. I know that when I start dieting next year in like February, things usually just kind of fall into place as far as like my routine and schedule and stuff, because I just have a bunch of things to get done when I'm in prep, and I usually get a lot more productive when that starts. But if I'm being honest, like last little bit here, I haven't been feeling that great. There's a couple of things, haven't moved up to Washington here, and I don't really have any friends up here in Washington yet, which is, a solvable problem, but it's not helped by the fact that, what I do and like my interests and my personality don't necessarily line up with the people up here. Like, it was a lot easier, just comparing, like, for me to make friends in Arizona when I moved down there in 22 compared to right now up here in Washington. I still have some old friends down in Portland, Oregon, but not a whole ton, and obviously they're far enough away from me that I don't see them very often. So, I'm, as far as like bodybuilding and like the culture up here goes, like there's not a lot of serious bodybuilders here. Like, I can count on one hand how many there are in like the state. Well, maybe not one hand, but like people who are doing it at the level that I'm at. There's not a lot. Definitely more in Oregon, but the gym that I'm at it's got a lot of normies in it, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me. It's got good equipment and everything, but it's not really somewhere that I'm probably gonna make a lot of friends at, if I'm honest. I don't know if there's any gyms around here that would be good for that, but ultimately, I'll just have to kind of go out of my way a little bit more to stay in touch with people, which I'm not naturally good at, but I just got to put effort into since it's not like right in front of me. besides that, on a more positive note, a couple, was it like 2 weeks ago now? I went down to Dallas for nationals, which was a super fun trip. I stayed with my buddy Garrett down there. I got to meet a whole bunch of the Gasp team. Did a bunch of videos and stuff with them, and obviously watched the show. Quick nationals review. There were a shitload of people in there, but the depth of the classes was not great. I mean, that's kind of been the case for a little while now at the national level, but you know, the winners of classes looked damn good. And you know, if you're wondering where all the talent has gone in like the bodybuilding ranks, look no further than the classic division, because they had even more people in each division, and they were a lot deeper as far as like, you know, the talent went. Overall, not a super strong show, but the winners of the classes were all pretty good in my opinion. It's always fun to go and watch that shit, though. I still try to keep on top of the amateur side of bodybuilding as much as I can, because I'm a fan of that as much as the professional side. But yeah, the trip down to Dallas went really good. Got to meet a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoy. Not a lot of guys like bodybuilders are necessarily like the most social people, and I'm kind of an introvert myself, but I definitely enjoy going to like events like nationals, or like when there's something going on, and you know, just kind of meeting people who kind of do what I do. We're like-minded, and it's a lot of fun. It's not something I get to do here in Washington at home nowadays, because like I was saying earlier, there's not a whole bunch of bodybuilding around here. But I'm going to be making a point to kind of get out there and show my face, and you know, go to as many of these events as I can over the course of the next year or so. Not just, you know, shows that I'm competing at, but like I guess that kind of brings us to our next part here. One of my plans for the next year. So I'm actually going to be back down in Dallas at the end of January. They're having another open house kind of event, because Keon, who's part of Gas and Better Bodies, won the 212 Olympia. So they're going to be throwing a bit of an event for him to celebrate. So MJ wanted me to come down and get to spend some more time with the team and talk a bit more with MJ about, you know, some plans for next year as far as like doing videos and content and whatever. When we were down there, did a couple of training videos, but we were shooting with Nick Del Toro, who does all the Gas Better Bodies video content, and he's really, really good at what he does, first of all, and I like him a lot. So I'm excited to keep on doing shit with him and the rest of the team down there. So I'll probably be going to Dallas semi-regularly, hopefully, if I have my way. So yeah, that'll be at the end of January. And then at the end of February is the Arnold Classic. End of February, beginning of March. And that is, I'm going to be heading there with Apollon, my supplement sponsor. We're going to have a booth there, so I'll be working the booth all 3 days of the expo. So if you want to come check it out, meet me or whatever, I will be there. I'm really looking forward to the Arnold. I've never been to like a big expo event like the Arnold or the Olympia or anything like that. I've basically been to some national shows and some pro shows and local shows, obviously, but nothing of that scale before. So it's going to be pretty fun. Looking forward to like meeting a bunch of people and getting up to no good, because I imagine that happens a bit on these kinds of trips. But that'll be that'll be at the beginning of March, so I'll be prepping at that point. I think I'll be like 12 weeks out or something. I'm starting prep on February 17th, tentatively. So I'm planning on, fast forward from the Arnold, I'm planning on hitting New York, California, and Toronto for my first shows of the season. So kind of the same shit as last year, but I'll be hitting Toronto as well. Finally getting my passport sorted out so I can get over there. And I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I'm not confident at all that I can win any of those shows because the New York Pro is already looking very stacked. Rubiel is doing it. Tonio is doing it. I've heard some other big names are doing it. I don't know if that's public knowledge yet, so I'm not going to say who that is. But these are guys that I don't think I'm capable of beating. But if I can get into like a first call out there, hopefully I can, just keep the season rolling. My goal is to qualify for the Olympia next year. Obviously, who doesn't have that goal? But I gotta be realistic too. I don't think it's gonna be like a one and done thing for me. I'm not delusional. So it'll be busy. Let's see, California's 1 week after New York, and then Toronto is 2 weeks after California. So pretty back to back. I have a devious plan, which I'm scheming up right now, that I'm gonna try to pitch to the folks over at Gasp, because right after Toronto there is a show in Spain, in Alicante. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Alicante. So right after Toronto, what I'm trying to figure out if I can do is fly over to Spain and then compete there the weekend after Toronto, and then there's another show in Italy the next weekend after Spain. So I'm gonna see if I can potentially hit both of those, and while I'm doing that, do like a kind of behind the scenes video vlog thing with Gasp. Hopefully we can get Nick out there, Nick Del Toro, and he can kind of film the whole thing, because I know I wouldn't really do a good job of it. And like I said earlier, Nick is super fun to work with, and he's really good at what he does. So I think that would be a very fun trip, and it would also give me another couple shots to try and qualify. And if I don't qualify, then I'll have shown my face at a bunch of shows, and that's got some value in and of itself. And hopefully I'll made a couple of bucks in prize money, enough to pay for the expenses of the shows. Hopefully, the break even thing would be great. But that stretch from like the end of May through the end of June there. So from New York Pro all the way through the Spain Pro, if I can hit those 5 shows, give myself a few chances to qualify. If not, show my face a bunch, then I think that would be a pretty good season. So tentatively, that's the plan right now. Hopefully Gasp is on board with helping me make that happen, because transatlantic flights are not cheap, believe it or not. So we'll see if we can pull that off. Wish me luck. As far as what I need to do to, be competitive at these shows, from where I'm at right now, I can tell I'm as heavy as I was last year, but I'm definitely leaner, and I've made some improvements to where I needed to make them, specifically in my arms and in my back. So hopefully that extra tissue in the right spots is going to make me a bit more well-rounded. And besides that, I just need to push my conditioning harder this year. I'm capable of doing that. I mean, I could have done that last year as well, but Blue and I, my coach, Blue Taylor, Blue and I, decided, that if I were going to push that much harder to get like next level conditioning, then there's a very real risk that I might have lost some of the new tissue that I had on me at the time. That new tissue is not so new anymore. It's another year into my career, so I'm not as worried about it like coming off of me when I start dieting really hard, because we've had to be cautious in the past. If I dig too low for too long, then I can run into issues and start getting kind of stringy. So basically, last year every week or so I'd have to do a refeed, approximately something like that, every 6 to 8 days, when I got flat and needed it. If we can drag that out to like, instead of 6 to 8 days, maybe like 8, 9, 10, 11, just push harder for longer and dig deeper each time. I'm doing it, then I should be able to get to that next level of conditioning that I need, because I mean I think I've got a pretty balanced physique. I've got a good amount of tissue on me, but that alone is not good enough to have you like winning shows. So I need to have a little extra something, and I'm not going to have like crazy muscle bellies. I'm not going to have like bells and whistles like some guys have, but if I can get really really conditioned, then that'll be my ticket, hopefully, to be competitive in these shows. So that's kind of it's not complicated, just push harder for longer, get more conditioned, and I think that'll give me a good shot. And even if I lose a bit of tissue in the process, I have a little bit more on me to give up now, so that's acceptable. Because after the New York last year, Steve told me I got beat on condition, which at the time I did not want to hear. I thought I was in very good condition. I still think I was in good condition, but it wasn't like really really good. No, it wasn't really really good enough to get me a win. So that's what I got to do basically. Beyond that, as far as plans for next year, I've got a guest posing at World Cup the end of April. I'm gonna try to line up a few more of those if I can, because it's a good way to show your face around at shows, and also make a quick buck. I'm gonna be in shape for most of the season, so I may as well make the most of it while I'm dieted down. One thing I'm gonna have to figure out and get good at is traveling while I'm in prep, because I've done it before. I did a few work trips in the past when I was working in the construction world, for like 3 or 4 days, and I handled everything well. Was able to train, get all my food in, didn't miss a beat. But I mean, it's gonna be like a lot of the weekends that, not just when I'm competing, but the weeks leading into the shows, I'm gonna be pretty busy doing stuff. So I am a little concerned about, because I've never, if I do end up doing those European shows, that's going to be a bit of a hassle, bringing food on the plane and getting through customs and shit with all of that. And it's, I have some friends over in Europe who can help me out with stuff, I think, but it's going to be a new experience, much more stressful potentially than just like a 4 or 5 hour flight from here to New York. So I'll figure it out, though. I just need to plan for it properly and set myself up for success. Hooray. This has a potential to be a really big year for me if I play my cards right. Things could be looking a lot different for me career-wise a year from now. Like, if I qualify for the Olympia, I mean, that really sets up a lot of opportunities for me as far as making money for the most part. and also kind of like getting me to the next level in the sport. If it doesn't happen this year, so be it. I'll just keep on banging my head against the wall because that's what I've been doing. It's not like I'm gonna stop now. Uh, but when I look at myself, I think with like I was talking about, if I can get my conditioning to the next level, where I am drawing people's eyes on stage, I think I have the level of physique that it takes to potentially win a show this year. Obviously, it depends on the show, but if I look at some of the people who qualified last year or have already qualified for next year, I'm like, yeah, I think I could probably, I'm on that level, but um, potential doesn't really mean anything. If you follow this sport for long enough, you know that there's a lot of hype around a lot of people, and usually they never end up delivering. So I don't want to be that. That would be disappointing. And also something that I think about semi frequently is like I know that I'm kind of one of the newer guys in the sport, like at the professional level. Um, so how was to put this? Like you kind of have a bit of a grace period when you're the new guy, where like you know you're new, so you kind of have a justification, or like you have an excuse if you don't necessarily win right off the bat. But if you've been competing at a certain level for like you know 2, 3, 4 years and you still haven't punched your ticket to the Olympia, people are gonna just start turning on you, and you go from hot new commodity to just another guy on the circuit who's just not fulfilling his potential, or blah blah blah. And I know what bodybuilding fans are like, because I am a bodybuilding fan and I know how mean they can be. So I think I do a decent job of kind of tuning out negativity, but on the other hand, like I haven't really received a lot yet, because like I said, I'm kind of I am in that grace period still, where people aren't shitting on me yet for not delivering. But obviously I don't want to get there at all, because I know I will if I don't punch my ticket eventually. Yeah, with that being said, I kind of got my work laid out for me this year. We are coming towards the end of the workouts. Anything I didn't cover here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing a bit of a prep vlog series, as I start prepping for the New York Pro in like mid-February. Um, and so you guys, if you're interested, can kind of follow along with what I'm doing to get ready. I'll probably be pretty transparent with what I'm doing on there. I've never shied away from all of the nitty gritty shit involved in bodybuilding. So I think that'll be fun. It'll give me something to work on and stay busy with throughout the whole process. Keep my mind off of hunger, because I know I'm going to be real hungry. And this is what I look like right now. I haven't even talked about the video the whole time because it's kind of boring. It's the same shit I do every week. So I think I'm like, this was last week, so I was like 283, 285 in the morning. Forgive me, but at the end of the day, after a few meals and a bunch of water, I have a pretty atrocious gut. I'm trying my best to hold it in here, but fortunately that always goes away when I diet, so hopefully it will again this year. But yeah, I mean, comparing this to last year, I'm definitely leaner than I was at this body weight. I actually was heavier overall last year. I got up into the 290s waking up in the morning, which I don't know if I'll ever get that heavy again, if I'm being honest. I just don't know if there's any need for it. I have a lot of the muscle that I need already. Like I said earlier, I just need to kind of keep putting it on in the right spots, and bring a different level of conditioning to make myself competitive. But I'll be doing that prep vlog series. Hopefully, I'll be able to record some of my travels and so forth while I like to the Arnold, etc., or whatever else I get up to during prep, and I can also log some of the stuff that I'm doing for the shows themselves. Do some training videos, standard fare for a bodybuilder on YouTube. I'm not gonna try and reinvent the wheel. I'm just gonna add a little sarcasm to it, because that's my thing. So, final thoughts. Big thank you to Apollon for supporting me with all of my antics. Go check out their supplements because they're the shit. And Gas from Better Bodies. I'm looking forward to going to doing a lot more stuff with them next year. And yeah, I have nothing left to say. So, signing off. Bye.